Hello again, everybody. I just thought I'd do a very quick video on repotting. I know I've done them before, but just to really highlight the benefits of repotting, lifting, maybe cutting off some little feeder roots, just to improve. If the pot is constricted and you can't really even move the desert rose out, it's time to repot. Or if roots are coming out of the bottom of the pot, it's also time to repot. Generally, you only do this probably every 2 to 3 years. Another reason is you want to give it a nice new fresh mix of potting mix with some perlite, with some slow release fertilizer. It just revitalizes the desert rose, and also by lifting up the plant, you're exposing more of the caudex, which gives it a chance to grow more as well. Whereas if it's in the pot, you can't even see it, it's constricted. So it has lots of benefits to lift it up. So this one here took a little bit of time to even maneuver because it was so hard and thick. I nearly had to cut the pot. But I have taken a lot of the soil out, but I'm just showing you where it sat in the pot. So not much to see, but felt quite hard. So you know there's going to be something pretty solid underneath. So what I did there is get rid of the pot, remove your old soil, and remember, if you're giving it a lift and revitalization, you're removing the old soil. You don't want to reuse the soil, so you want fresh soil. So I've just basically removed it, and I'm just going to have a look to see what's underneath, and you can actually see underneath there is quite a nice fat caudex. So I'm going to just cut off some of the little feeder roots here to expose that, just so we can see what we have. Now, as per usual, sterilizing equipment before you start and after you finish, because if you transfer a disease from one to the next, you could have major issues. Be careful with your knives because they are very sharp and you don't want to hurt yourself. So you can use a toothbrush to brush away the soil, or use your fingers, whatever you want to do there. And I'm never afraid to cut. So a lot of people are a bit wary, but I've been doing it for a little while now, and I cut to what I like. Not everyone likes to cut all these off. Some people like to just lift them up and leave them. It does look quite nice, but I personally like to get rid of feeder roots, as long as you leave sufficient for the plant to survive, and it can survive on very little roots. That's all it needs. These were all buried under the soil, so once you lift it up anyway, they're not going to be probably touching the soil, so best to get rid of them. So just a case of seeing and feeling where they are, get rid of them. Some little ones up the top there. Now that could look quite nice when it lifts above the soil, so you could leave that one in there, or you can cut it off. As you can see, there's more down there anyway, and it is your personal preference. So once you've got rid of all the little feeder roots there, a couple of options. A, you can leave that out to dry for, you know, a week or so until all that's healed naturally, which is where you've cut. B, you can put some cinnamon on it. C, you can put some super glue on it. Just for today, I'm going to show you sort of the cinnamon. It just helps to seal up the cut. So you're just pretty much dousing all the little cuts. Don't need to remove the excess, but I do. Some people put it in a little squeegee bottle rather than just keeping it in that. And normally, as I said, you probably leave that out to dry for a week before repotting, but I want to just show you what it will look like. So choose your pot size. I've got quite a few to choose from. You want it sort of in a decent pot. You don't want to put it back into a pot that's too small. So you want to pick a decent sized pot. Now, the soil mix is quite important. I've got a mix of like a potting mix. I get mine from a place in Narangba in bulk, which is a beautiful mix. Has a bit of fertilizer in it, a bit of organic stuff in it, a bit of bark, sort of mulch in it, and I add perlite to it. So what you end up getting is something that roughly looks like that. So you can see bark, you can see perlite, you can see the soil, there's fertilizer in there, sometimes a bit of sand in there, it all depends, but as long as it's free draining, that's the main thing. That's what you need, because you don't want root rot. So plant, put some in the bottom first, it's up to you, or you can just pop it all around the sides, and normally about 1/3 is what you want. Depends how much you want to show, really. You could go sort of that amount or a bit higher up. So then it's just a case of, and I've got these little Lazy Susans, I think they were called, which are great for being able to get around the edges. When you want to fill up, you can just spin it around to your next section, and then it catches all the loose dirt in the bottom of it, which is great too, because then you can just tip it back into your potting mix and you're not wasting anything. So you can tap it into place so that all the soil goes around the roots that are down the bottom, and then just give it a little bit of a press down just to help settle it a bit more. Fill it up a bit more. And just remember, I've got exposed seeping cuts, so I don't really want the soil to touch that. In case the soil is moist, the moisture gets up into the cuts and it could rot the plant. So I would normally leave that out of the sun and the weather for up to a week until I can see that those cuts are healing over. But this is what I mean. So you can see that that's where it was in the soil. You couldn't see all of the bottom of that. Not very interesting. You take that out and now you've got a big bum, or it will be a big bum. If you leave more of those roots on there, you've got a little bit of an interesting thing happening there, but that looks so much better than having it concealed. It's so much healthier for the plant. Nice fresh lift, nice new soil, cut off some feeder roots, and off you go. Great way to, good opportunity also to check to see how your roots are, if they're healthy, because you could have early detection for root rot or bugs, anything like that. Always have a good look at your plant when you're repotting to make sure it's all healthy. Pull off any old leaves, check it out thoroughly, and then that will save you down the track with any future issues you could potentially have. Happy gardening, everyone.